David, start as usual with the squad news on El Hernandez. How's he looking in terms of the hand and more importantly for this weekend?
Yeah, he improves, but I can't see him being involved in the next couple of games. There is a slight chance maybe for Rotherham, but I can't see him being involved, as I said, in the next couple of games. Blachetta is back in training. He is fine, being contention for the squad. Everyone else was healthy after the last game as well. And obviously all the other guys, Bocha, Lungi, Tomkinson, it's still the same what we said. We expect them back in the international break in team training.
Away from the fitness side of things, bit of news, club have confirmed loan move, Pedro Lima. Quite exciting from the outside looking in, young Brazilian midfielder. Just give us your thoughts on that and where he fits into the plan moving forward. There's a bit of talk that he'll start with the development side and then maybe down the track be part sort of in and around your first team group.
Yeah, to be totally honest, this is an academy signing. I will have a look on him when the time is right, and when the time will be right, the academy guys will let me know. Like in the past, this is why I don't like to speak too much about him.
Okay, so just to clarify, very much in the short term development side.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, yeah, I agree with you. It's exciting to get another Brazilian guy into the building, but I think now it's all about that he adapts with the academy, and then when the time is right, they will pass them over to me that I can have a look on him in training, and then we will see what we will get out of him.
You might not know the answer then, but obviously they've got a 21s game, I think, Carrow Road tomorrow night. I mean, would it be an expectation he'd be involved in that game, do you know?
To be fair, I don't know. This is something where is not I am the man who makes the decision who will be involved. I only make the decision if there will be some players of my squad will be involved.
Yeah, is there likely to be any? Or?
No, to be fair, our squad is not huge at the minute. Obviously, we make the final decision then, like always, tomorrow after training.
Let's get the transfer-related thing out of the way. I mean, we're sort of a few days out now. I mean, as it has been for the last few weeks, is it in terms of ins and outs? There's not a huge amount happening. Is that fair to say?
You know how it is. As long as it is open, I can't rule anything out. Obviously, I said this more often as well, and this is still the case. I'm very happy with the squad which we will have together, but I will not rule anything out.
Just because obviously the Brazilian lads come in on a loan. Is that because we're not talking permanent deals there? But is that something you could potentially? Because I think with the Marquinhos deal back in January, that seemed to happen very quickly when Arsenal decided that he wasn't going to be part of their squad. There might be Premier League clubs after this weekend make those sort of decisions. Is that any part of you thinking over the next sort of week that there might be some potential loan?
I have no idea at the minute, to be fair. I think that we are not financially the big gun in the league. I think this is knows everyone, and this is fine. I have no problem with it. I think we were very smart in the window so far with our free transfers or with the money which we spent. Obviously, we have to have an eye on our financial situation as well, but I feel fully support of the board for what we have done so far, and this will be the case for sure till the end of the window. So this means for me, as long as it's open, obviously we have to have our eye on it. This is our job. We have to prepare for everything what can pop up, loan or permanent, free transfer or with a transfer fee. But will something happen? We will see. But as I said, for us it's important if we do something that we do the right thing.
Okay. Bringing it back to the football, clearly safe to say it must be a very positive camp. You've started the season really well, solid start, and just give us a sense of around the group. It must be a happy place to come to work at the minute.
Yeah, of course, but to be fair, results influence the atmosphere. This is the truth, but in general, it's a place where you really like to be, and where you really like to be in this environment to do what we all together love, to be involved in football. At the end of the day, I think one of the strengths of this group is that they respect that what they've done last weekend or in the last weeks it was good, but it's in the past, and that they are hungry and greedy for the next one, which is Huddersfield away. A very difficult game because it's an important opponent who plays a certain style, a very physical style, very man-marked style, very direct style as well. I think we had a good pre-preparation for it when we faced Millwall, as well, a very physical side, a very direct side, but it's away from home, which is different, and obviously the man marking style, I think, is something special. What Huddersfield is doing, and there we have to make sure that we find our solutions against.
What have you made of their start? I mean, results-wise, maybe not. But if you dig into it a little bit, good point at Middlesbrough, and I think they gave Leicester a very good game by all accounts last weekend. So how do you assess their start?
You know that I'm not focused on the results. If I look on opponents, they have a decent squad together, experienced championship squad, especially in the four-back line, in goal, up front as well. So midfield they have Hoggy, who was my player. So they have experience all over the park, and they have a style which suits them. Where they're used to play the style, but it doesn't change. Like always, we like to win this game. We will prepare ourselves, we will focus on ourselves, and hopefully we find the right answers for the questions which they will ask us.
We know obviously your connection to Huddersfield. You've already been back there as Norwich manager, but does it, as much as we all know your priority, it will be Norwich this weekend, does it rekindle some nice memories to go back to a place where you've had success?
Yeah, I always like to go back to Huddersfield because I spent there nearly 4 years, 3.5 years, and obviously me and my family, we had a good time there. And memories which will stay forever. But the truth is as well, I was there already once as an opponent's manager. Again, I like to go back. And yes, this is one of the fixtures I look at first when the fixtures come out. But I think for Narcisse and Clem, it's a little bit bigger than for me, because for them it's the first time, and it's quite narrow when they left. So we are prepared with everything what we have to know. At the end of the day, we have to be focused on ourselves, that we really play to our strength and continue what we have done so far.
I mean, you mentioned both of those lads there, but I was going to ask you, with Narcisse in the group, he clearly was part of it, Neil Warnock's backroom team last season. I mean, has he been an extra help? We know he's had a good impact already generally, but the fact it's a group of players and the coaching staff he knows very well.
Yeah, this is why I said, even if we've known enough about Huddersfield, their players, and Neil for sure as well, obviously, we know everything what we have to know. I think we are as good as prepared for this opponent like for no opponent in the championship, with everything what we know. But as I said, all the informations are nice to have. I said this to Narcisse as well. You can give us 100 more informations, which is good, but let's be focused on us, and let's make sure that our players play to their strength.
And on that element of just focus on what you're trying to do, is the message, because you repeated it after the Millwall game, you've got 3 games effectively, a cup game in between, but 3 games between now and the international break. I think you just said attack these 3, and that'll be the message.
Absolutely, yes. And we take it game by game, and the first one is Huddersfield. So this means we attack Huddersfield. We go there, and obviously we like to be successful. We like to win. We know that we have to invest massively, that we have to go over the borderline, that we really have to have situations where we have to suffer, where we have to be very focused, very concentrated, be very strong in set pieces as well. And this is something where we are prepared. There will be a battle on Saturday against Huddersfield. This is their style. I said this after the Millwall game. I love my team because they can fight. They've shown against Millwall that they are able to fight. This is something what we for sure have to show on Saturday again, and then hopefully we can play some decent football in the right moments as well.
And on that front, fighting and decent football, the two players who immediately spring to my mind is your two centre mids, Kenny and Gabby Zara. They feel that such a good blend that they have a lot of attributes that you need with and without the ball. I mean, you said after Southampton you singled those two out and said they were very good that day, but just a word on those two and how they've started the season, because it feels like that's a key area of the pitch.
Both started on a very, very high level, and they both set the standard in training as well. Like a big core group of the players did so far. I think especially Gabi with not the easiest off-season and a difficult pre-season as well because of his surgery. And Kenny with a little bit shorter pre-season because he played for Scotland in the off-season. Very successful for Scotland as well. It's quite good to see that they came into the season on such a high, and you can feel and you can see if you look in their eyes, they are hungry for the next one, like the whole group. And this is why I really look forward to Saturday.
But I think with those two, you watch it from the outside and it feels such a natural fit that you've got Kenny maybe more defensively minded, and that allows Gabby then a bit more of a licence to push further forward and do what he can do with the ball. How much of that is you and your coaches imposing that on them, or as you say, they're two very good players? Is it almost you give them the parameters and then they run with it? I mean, where's the balance with that in terms of what you demand from them with and without the ball?
No, in general, good players can play together, and they are very good players. But for sure, we give them a clear idea, a clear vision, what we like to have from them in certain situations, with in-ball possession and without ball possession. And because they are great players, means they are very smart and very football intelligent as well, and they take everything on board very quickly. Obviously, I know that a lot of people doubted if Kenny McLean can play really as a six, as a player who loves it when the opponent has a ball, as a player who wins balls, who goes for these battles. But he has done great since day one, since I came in. So he's a proper leader, a player who does exactly what is needed. Obviously, very emotional as well, and this is sometimes where we have spoken about this. Has to calm and keep his head, where he improved massively, I think, and obviously with Gabi on his side. They both look very strong. We all together know that in midfield you have to be on top of the opponent if you like to be successful. This is I can't remember any game where my midfield was weaker than the opponent's midfield where I was successful. Maybe because of suspensions or whatever, or set piece, but in general, to be successful, you have to have a midfield which is strong, and this is what we have. We for sure have to make sure that we have the alternatives on the same level or on a comparable level as well, and this is where we work on with the players which we have, and this is very important for us, that the midfield has a real presence, physical presence, like we said, who enjoy to fight but can handle the ball as well, and this is what we have, and where we have to work on that we keep this going.
Two more players, if I could ask you about, and talking about midfielders and a presence, but able to handle the ball. Fashnak, I thought again he showed, against Millwall, just a very intelligent player with the positions he takes up on the pitch as well. You must be. I know you've already said, listen, you don't need to doubt this guy. He comes with a really good pedigree, but he's already starting to show that he can add something extra for this team.
Yeah, I think you can't ask for much more. Like what he has shown since he arrived with his contribution to the game with goals, assists, with the right movement in the right areas, and defensively he works hard as well. So his numbers are always great in terms of total distance, and high-speed runs as well. That he goes into the box, into the area where you can score, where you can be a threat. I have known, I think a lot of people have seen this so far as well. And as I said, you can't ask for much more than he has done so far. Hopefully, and for sure, he has space to improve in our environment. At the end of October, his wife will come over as well. I think this makes then a huge difference for him, because at the minute he is alone here. Even if I can say that he settled in the group very well. But yeah, we are very happy that we have him as part of our group, because as I said, he is a different type of winger to the others which we have.
And with him as well, I just noticed there midweek, young boys are playing in the I think the final stage for the group of the Champions League in Israel, and you know he could easily have been there and trying to get into the group stage of the Champions League. You talked about you need a bravery to try a different country, a different league, different culture, but also there's a guy who could have been really high level of football, and obviously again competing for the league title in Switzerland. But no, he saw something with Norwich that was a challenge he'd like to take on.
Yeah, to be fair, he is now 29 and he experienced already 2 times the Champions League group stages. This is for sure something what would excite him, yes, but something he has done already. And obviously with the chance joining us, this group, England and English football in the Championship, even if he for sure aims for higher, he wanted to take this challenge and he wanted to take this opportunity, because he has known in this age not a lot of opportunities like this will pop up in the future. And I think this was a great fit, the situation where he was in, the situation that we searched a player like him. And obviously, because I've known his character, I was for 100% sure he will fit this group, and I think this is what he has shown.
Just final one if I can. Feels like I ask you about John Rowe every single press conference, but on this one I wanted to ask you, because I thought it was interesting last weekend that it was almost Millwall knew all about him already and kind of targeted him a little bit. I think there was a player went through the back of him after about 2 minutes, and any time he tried to get on the turn, there was 2 or 3 players around him. It didn't really help because he scored a wonderful goal later in the first half. But does that show what he's doing? That maybe there are teams now looking at them, and when they do their scouting for how to nullify Norwich, they've got a factor in how to stop John Rowe at the minute.
Listen, I think we don't have to discuss that he had a wonderful start. Yeah, 4 games with 4 goals in a row is incredible for such a young lad who never started a competitive first team game. So credit to him. But, and this is very, very important, now it's how we progress and how we move forward. And this is something where he knows exactly with 4 games the season is not done. Obviously, everyone looks now a little bit more on him. This is the nature. And this is something what you as a young player have to learn, what you have to respect and accept. And this is now where we have to support him, that he keeps focused, only focused on what he has done in training, in the games as well. Don't look to the left and to the right. It's easier said than done, but this is now our challenge, and this is our aim, that he continues what he has done and that he builds up his game like he has done in the past. And we had a lot of conversation about it, because there will be unfortunately some games where he will not score, but you can play a very, very good game without scoring, even as a striker. And this is always the thing which has to be your first aim. Make sure you know how you can say after a game, I played well. If you then score, this is then the cherry on the cake for you, and something what obviously you like to do as a striker as well. But because this is not always the case, you have to make sure that you know how after a game can I say that I played decent? And this is what we are working with Johnny, but with every individual, to be fair.
And is part of that kind of process, because the talent clearly isn't in doubt, but I mean, you said about him, what also impressed you in the summer was his maturity, that he's maturing and that he understands the responsibilities and the demands you and the coaches are placing on him, and that'll help him now because he's had this excellent start and there's a lot of eyes on him now. Just to, as you say, don't get carried away, feet on the ground, and just take it in your stride if you can. Keep doing what you do.
Yeah, and listen, he knows, I know, you know that he has massive space for improvement. So it was now 4 starts, so and he didn't finish one game so far over 90 minutes, because obviously after 60, 70 minutes with all the workload, so credit to him, which he invested, he was not able to continue on the same level, which is fine to me, to be fair. If someone plays full throttle for 70 minutes and then the tank is empty, I respect it, and we bring fresh legs. Better than don't play full throttle and play 90 minutes. This is nothing what I like to have. But there is a lot of space for improvement for Johnny Rowe and for us as a whole team, to be fair.
That's final one. I mean, it just popped into my head, you know, there's an international break coming, but do you think there's a chance maybe the England under-21s might take a look at him?
I think now a new circle starts because the tournament, which was in the summer, so if you ask me, I know that England have some top players always in the youth as well, but there have to be some top players if Johnny Rowe, after what he has shown, not has a chance. But he as well, there are 3 further games to go till the international break. He only can do and perform consistently, and then he has to sit down, wait what happens. We will see, but a new circle starts, and I think this is normally the case for a national team, that they try and test and like to see a lot of players in the first international breaks to get a good overview. So we will see. At the end of the day, it's in his hands what happens, and if he can put pressure on the under-21s coach for this or maybe the next international break, it will not come from speaking, it will only come with hard work.
Thanks, David. Cheers.
Thanks, buddy. Right, go.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, David. Cheers.